Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a creative that are looking to build your influence online? Are you looking to build a successful YouTube channel? Well, today I have one of the, I don't know how to describe it, the godfathers of YouTube, the guy who will equip you with all the knowledge, equipment, whatever you need when it comes down to YouTube. Sean Cannell, CEO of Think Media, and today we're going to tackle this topic. Let's go. So, Sean, again, I would like to thank you because I know we had a little conversation off camera. I would like to thank you for coming on to the show. And I think the best way for us to do this, how about you just tell us a little bit more about who you are, why somebody should follow Think Media, should follow Think Media Podcasts, and what it is that you can provide value for.
Yeah, grateful to be on the show, and thank you so much for having me. You know, it's funny because you introduced me as the CEO of Think Media, which I guess is true today because we have 20 people on the team. It's a multi-million-dollar company. The CEO of YouTube, Susan, said that creators are building the next generation of media companies, and that's kind of where we are today. But bro, I did not start there at all. I'm a small town kid, college dropout, started shooting videos in my bedroom. Started as an intern at a local church in the video. I was the video ministry. There was no structure to it. I just had a video camera, Adobe Premiere Pro version like 1.0, man, when it was back on CDs and you'd install the CS discs. And just been on this journey of video production. So even before YouTube started, getting into cameras and lenses and content creation, had a video production business in the past. And also then YouTube. And the first YouTube channel I started was for my church in 2007. So that's 2 years after YouTube started. And then I started multiple different channels, helped a lot of authors, speakers, business owners, small business owners do YouTube. Took a lot of weird turns, dead ends, frustrating, challenging, paths on the journey, but a ton of experience in the trenches with YouTube, digital marketing, online business, video production. So fast forward to today, now, 150 million video views, over 2 million subscribers, and just kind of doing what we're doing today. And have got to see the life transforming power of not just YouTube and social media, but what's now kind of the official term is the creator economy, which is really just getting started now in 2021 and beyond. And this next decade is really going to be the best decade. So I'm excited for everyone listening because there's so much opportunity, and this space just continues to grow at multiples. And so it's an exciting time.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I really love just more about your story. I have watched you guys since 2015. I've had multiple different YouTube channels. I have done, a lot of the steps that you got. I even like my setup in my room. My setup in my room is from a video that you guys had on your channel like recently. And that's what I was looking at. Because again, you guys are the go-to for if you want to build a YouTube channel, if you want to build that media company that you were referring to. You guys have become that pillar of, okay, this is the standard bearers. These are the guys who will tell you like, hey, you're trying to get in here, this is how you do it. But something that you said was very interesting, and that is about the creator economy. I think I want to touch upon that a little bit more. What is the creator economy, and why is it so important to these young entrepreneurs who are building their own businesses right now, trying to build their brands, who dream of being a YouTuber, dream of building this personal brand that just sparks fire and has so much impact that all their audiences, everybody wants to see them. So what exactly is that?
Yeah. What's crazy is that, coming up over a decade, being passionate about YouTube. I'm from a small town, and I'm, it was an hour north of Seattle. It's called Marysville, Washington. And growing up, sometimes your small town can kind of make you small-minded, and not as a way to disrespect anyone. It's just the thinking there. And so I know coming up, people thought I was so weird. Like, what are you doing? Why are you posting videos on YouTube? What are you doing with your time? And like, what is that going to play out? Why don't you get a real job? Why don't you work on something that basically we understand? And what's interesting is I know that when people have this passion to join the creator economy on any social media platform, make a living from their creativity, they might have friends and family members around that are like, why don't you get a real job? But today, more than ever before, this is a real job. And that's just not my opinion. So Signal Fire did a study and discovered that the creator economy is about 50 million people, 2 million of which are earning over six figures a year, over $100,000 per year, or hundreds earning seven figures, or thousands, I should say. And then of these 48 million people, they're starting to monetize, they're getting into, creating content. And what they discovered was, and I quote, "This is the fastest growing small business type." And so as much as challenging as it can be for some to wrap their head around that, like, wait a minute, making videos in your bedroom, making videos at home, live streaming, gaming online, esports, like, it's the fastest growing small business type, and it's growing at a multiple right now, and is going to double and triple over the next 5-10 years. And of course, grow beyond that. But we're literally in the midst of like another wave of the creator economy. Essentially what it is it's individuals that are making a living from being creators, and they're creating either education content or entertainment content, and they're either they're monetizing through the YouTube partner program, or creating a course, or working with brand sponsorships, or crowdfunding like Patreon or YouTube channel memberships. And it's more practical than ever before. I'm not trying to overhype it and say it's easy, but it is really real. And it's a wave right now that if people get serious, they get strategic, they learn the skills, they go all in, they take the risk, they put in the work, that it's within reach to make a living doing what you love. And to be able to do that, of course, on YouTube, but TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Twitch and all these types of platforms. And so it's the creator economy revolution, really. And it's a super exciting time. And one interesting thing I also just saw was YouTube now has 3 million people that are a part of the YPP, the YouTube Partner Program. And so that means their video content is being monetized, of course, at different levels. Some people are probably making $30 a month. Some people are making millions a month, actually, because of the amount of views and how high their CPM is. And so that's just one income stream. We teach like 51 different income streams, but that's just one. And that gives you an idea. 3 million people are plugged into the YouTube matrix, if you will, getting money directly from YouTube and Google. And you're able to monetize a lot of other ways than that. So even if they're just in those beginning stages, $30 turns into 300, turns into 3,000 a month. And now you're making, $36,000 a month, which is within reach. Like, teacher's salary is happening all day, every day on YouTube right now. And more people are joining the creator economy all the time.
So jumping into the creator economy and understanding that with what you were just saying with the statistics, everything like that, why is it still hard to grasp that this is a career path, that this is a way to build a small business? Why do you think that mindset is still going on in 2021?
I mean, I think because it's out of the box. I think, there's a lot of things we could touch on in terms of the way the majority thinks. And I've learned that if you're actually thinking like the majority, you're probably doing something wrong. The way the majority thinks is like, go to school, go to college, get a degree, get a job, buy a house, put a little money in, retire it. So, that's just a very traditional boxed in path. There's been so much disruption, though, and I'm all for, I couldn't be more for education, but I think education is shifting in a crazy way. And I think it's purely people just don't understand. They don't understand the business model. They don't understand how accessible it is. I think it's also easy to judge it quickly because you just think, when they think influencer, they think, why do we need a blonde girl, no disrespect, a blonde girl in LA taking pictures of her unicorn Starbucks, at a tourist spot in LA on Instagram? Like, how is that even a job? How is that even adding value? I think what people don't realize is that really the playing field has just been leveled for anybody that wants to become an entertainer. So now it's not just people watching movies or TV shows. People are basically making their own movies and mini movies and mini TV shows called YouTube videos. And there's a whole audience to consume it. And you make money through advertising. Or that anybody that wants to teach anything, how to sew, how to crochet and sew blankets, how to learn guitar, how to do AutoCAD. That education is now independent educators are packaging their knowledge in online courses. They're giving away, they're teaching English, they're teaching people that want to learn English through free YouTube videos, making money through advertising, and then creating their own online courses. And just that e-learning space itself is predicted to be $1 billion a day industry by 2025. Again, that's over like a $350 billion industry in 2025. So I think what people don't realize is the economics are there. And this is not replacing other jobs, but it's the fastest growing business type. It's a whole nother dimension of a way to earn a living, build a career. And I think what ends up happening is they only see the world through their set of lenses, their set of glasses and whatnot. So they might not watch YouTube. So they don't understand that a whole generation is watching Roblox and Minecraft to the tune of millions and hundreds of millions of kids, people of different ages, with their eyeballs on content, that people are watching Twitch streamers, YouTube gamers for the length, Lord of the Rings extended version could be 2 hours and 30 minutes, and people are watching 2 hours and 30 minutes of someone else playing a video game. And there's advertising throughout that, just like there would be advertising if you watched a movie on TNT. So there's a lot more people in the world. There's a lot more economics in the world than ever before in terms of flows of income. There's a lot more subcultures and sub niches. So most people just view life through their one set of lenses, like, son, daughter, I want you to be a doctor. I want you to go to school. I want you to do it this way. And that might still be great, but it also might not. And I think it's important for people to know that there's just so much opportunity, way more than you could ever imagine. And the world's a lot more abundant than people realize or imagine. When you step outside of the box, and I go back to my small town, your small town can put you in a small box. Your small worldview can create a box around you that doesn't actually exist, but your perception becomes your reality. So the creator economy is already proven. It's not a debate. No one has to argue with you or me.
No.
It's happening at this very second. But what people don't realize is what the next decade is going to look like. And you don't want to look back and regret that you didn't take action because you thought it was too late, or you didn't think it was legit, or you thought it was a scam, or you thought something else. That's might be your perception, but none of those things are true. It's time to go all in and figure out your place in the creator economy.
And that's in itself, what you were saying is something about also human psychology and intersectionality. I think that's another thing that we have to look at, especially when we're marketing, because marketing is basically just human psychology. That's the reason why it's so important to have influencers. That's why it's so important to have like the person drinking the unicorn drink, taking a picture of it, everything like that, because it gives that personalized feel. When you're following a person who's an influencer and you feel like, okay, I connect with their content, that's like another family member. That's like another friend, but you might not see them in person, but you do see them on social media all the time. So to see them rep, Air Force Ones, the newest iPhone 68 or something like that, or the PS5, to see them rep those things, it makes it more tangible for you because you're seeing, okay, they have this, they like it, okay, I'm gonna like it, so now I'm gonna go out and go buy it. I think the problem is it's not the easiest thing to quantify for a lot of businesses. So that's why a lot of businesses don't believe in doing YouTube, don't believe in doing all these things, and still do click ads and, TV spots and the old school version of marketing. What would you give, because I know we're talking to a lot of the younger audiences here, But what would you give the older audiences? You know, these people who are 40 plus, they have their business was affected by COVID because COVID has affected a lot of businesses. Let's take, for example, a restaurant. Let's say you have two restaurants that are thriving, and then there's one that went out of business because, like, let's say we have college students that didn't go to school or something along those lines. What would you tell that business owner to do to continue the flow of their business so that they don't have everything go out of business?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that the question that we should always ask when it comes to marketing a business is, what is just going to be the most effective to get the word out about this business? What are the best ways to get the attention of my ideal audience? I sometimes think different things get overemphasized and overhyped. Early days of social media, or kind of the medium in mid days, I think at times it probably got overhyped. I think a lot of traditional forms of advertising are still phenomenal. I think, and you can measure ROI today on anything, and ROI is return on investment. So that's my biggest question. Number one, you got to figure out, what are you even doing in business? And it's unfortunate, a lot of people got crushed in like the restaurant industry during COVID, and that, even as that still continues. But if people coming into your restaurant is your business model, then I'm thinking about my Google listings and my Google ratings. I'm thinking about my Yelp and my working with Yelp influencers and working with influencers in regards to because I know for me, my wife and I, whenever we travel, Yelp is the vehicle that we find restaurants through. I type in the word hipster when we're in Tempe, Arizona, and it gets me to the right place, man. It just does. Like, I look through, there's vegan places, all kind of weird, a little bit more creative and edgy places. So it depends on what you want to do. But if that restaurant owner gets shut down, I think what they don't realize is how big and how much opportunity there is to, say, start creating cooking videos or cooking tutorials, and stuff on YouTube. So I think for the traditional business owner, it's the idea of thinking about having your hand, like each hand in two different cookie jars. I'll give you an example. We go to Leavenworth, Washington a lot of years, my wife and I, during Christmas. It's this small Bavarian town. You go up and over Stevens Pass, through the mountains, through the snow, and now you're just surrounded by mountains. And it's the most magical Christmas town. Pretty small, but very popular tourist attraction. But the town has all these shops, and my wife loves, of course, the little shops where you can get little, figurines or tchotchkes or memorabilia, and there's, all kinds of food and hot cocoa and the whole vibe. When we go into some of these shops, we'll also go there during the summer sometimes. There's seasons there. It's a very seasonal business. So there's whole times of year when it's very high highs, low lows. Christmas is crazy, but then it's like no one's coming in for a couple months. And so we were in one of these shops, and they had the main floor full of all this, things to buy, cool little Bigfoot t-shirts and whatever, mountain vibes and artwork, if you can picture this type of environment. And then on the second floor was where they had like 50% off, like discount racks and different things like that. And it was pretty like, they just threw stuff up there, a lot of unused space, not a lot of stuff happening up there. And to me, I thought, man, you know what the modern business is going to do? The modern business, I would convert that second floor into a studio. I would convert that second floor into shipping and receiving, to where, and I would not just have my brick and mortar experience business, but I would start building an online brand, doing e-commerce, creating content around, not even just directly, not just like product videos, but building a brand so that not only was my store a destination, but I could also go direct to consumer. And so products in the store could be packed up, shipped out. You could have live streams and different things happening. So you have all this time when you're not getting any physical foot traffic to tap into unlimited online foot traffic into sub niches that maybe love those types of things. And for maybe people who can't travel or experience, or you could do different walkthrough videos, help people, whatever. Basically, it's just moving online. It's thinking about that almost any business can still have their physical in-person expression, but can also have an online expression and tap into multiple different ways to monetize, whether you're a restaurant owner and you're not going to ship food a state away, but you might make money through doing cooking videos and recipe videos and monetizing it through crowdfunding and YouTube ads, thereby creating a separate income stream and recession proofing your business a little bit in case your restaurant gets shut down. And same thing in Leavenworth, if no one's coming in, foot traffic, you've got an e-commerce business, you're creating content, you're building a community. And so I think that's the mindset when it comes down to what somebody that's maybe been rocked or trying to reinvent themselves. And I think what we'll see as we go into the future is, you know, there might be a pivot back to where advertising on television makes a lot of sense. My friend Neil Patel was saying that. He was saying a lot of times the smartest thing you could do in business is just do opposite of what everybody else is doing. I was watching Hulu the other day, which is kind of the new school television, OTT, like, and I was like, dude, we should do some Hulu ads. I bet this is a whole nother level. Like if we start getting, depending on what your product market match and fit is, I was like, this, if we want to go at scale at the next level, if it's a wide enough product, I mean, everybody needs like toothpaste, or they want like that now online thrifting clothes, sell your clothes online, or but like if it's wide enough, like, and depending on their targeting. So I said a lot there, but when it comes back down to marketing, I think old, new, hybrid, whatever, it's just asking, where are people? How can I reach people? What are ways this could work? What am I going to be committed to? And then just being focused on that and building out your business. And I think for most, they don't see these opportunities, but they're very real.
You know, and saying that, I even had that made me an idea pop into my head about like, you know, the old school infomercials that we used to have. Every time, you know, you used to see them, they come on late at night, everything like that. I'm surprised that no one has thought of a way of doing infomercials on Netflix, on Hulu, on YouTube, things like that for different businesses. I think that that's incredible. And if somebody figures out a way, hey, listen, if you take my idea, that's cool. Yo, whoever out here, just make sure you make it profitable. I just want to see the stuff come out. But I think that that would be interesting in general. Something that you were talking about on your Instagram page, because I think that this is a great mindset question. But after we get done with this, we're going to go more into the actionable steps wise to get you guys started on YouTube. Something that you were talking about recently that really resonated with me was the fact that entrepreneurs and creatives are so on their impact, so on more of their image than their impact a lot of times. And my question to you is, because I know you went in on an Instagram live about this, guys, definitely follow Sean on Instagram because he has some great gems on there that you might not see all the time on his YouTube channels, but it's like little day in the life things that I think is incredible. Something that you were saying on there is that we're so consumed on how we look on social media instead of worrying about the impact that we're having on our audience. Why do you think that that is such an issue with a lot of these entrepreneurs, a lot of these creators? I know that we all see, it's like the glamour shot. We all see these great things around, but what would you say? What would you say is like why the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting conversation. The trap that a lot of influencers fall into, aspiring creators fall into, every generation, but especially this next generation, is actually being more consumed with image than they are with impact. I also want to qualify that I'm not a saint. I don't. I've got my own issues. I have my own human nature, my own selfishness, my own wanting to have that be affirmed or wanting to look good or whatever, or my own vanity that I have, you know, needed to personally overcome. So maybe that I'm 37 now, gray in the beard, you know, growing. It's just, you kind of learn through life what really matters. I think about it like there's the Proverbs 31, it talks about the Proverbs 31 wife is like this kind of a biblical reference, but it says, you know, charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears God is to be praised. And it's maybe I'm just kind of at that stage in life where I'm realizing that, you know, charm is deceptive, beauty is fleeting. What matters most is like that stuff that carries God weight, that stuff that it's love, it's impact, it's substance. And we in the influencer culture can fall into the trap of style over substance. We can fall into the trap of image over impact. Why do I think that is? It's just human nature. I mean, I've got an 8.5-month-old now. uh Dude, he's selfish. Like he's not really thinking about others. He's thinking about himself. He's thinking about feeding himself. When if he doesn't want more food, he starts slapping us away. He slaps the food away and screams and whatever. He's a baby. He's acting like a baby. He's not he's not on mission serving other people. He is self-absorbed. And so I think that that just carries over to social media. And then not only is it human nature, but it's also what's being perpetuated. Part of, you know, I don't want to come across as judgmental. I'm just observing the culture, and most of social media culture, and some of the most influential on social media could be arguably vain. I mean, it's about image, it's about wealth, it's about status, it's about showing off what you have, etc. That's celebrity culture a lot of times. That's hip hop culture a lot of times, about flexing the chain, about flexing the car. And so I think where this kind of comes from, though, is that at the end of the day, do you really want to make an impact, or do you want to be more known for your image? And what really good is it to be known for your image? Like, wow, there's a cool picture of you on your Instagram, as opposed to, what are you doing for others? Are you making selfish content, or are you making service content? And for some, because a lot of people that want to be influencers, sometimes they want to be the type of influencer who's very successful and who documents their life, documents their travels, just does cool things, eats at cool places. That's a small percentage, though, that's followed by many that just want to watch the lifestyles of the rich and famous and influential. Where the opportunity really is where you're making content. Imagine this, that's not about you, but it's actually about your audience. That doesn't mean you're not in the photos. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do photo shoots or that you shouldn't look dope on social media. The question introspectively to ask yourself is, what is the impact you want to make? What mission are you on? Who are you trying to help, and what problem do you solve for them? What is the ambition of the person following you? And are you making service content? And I believe if you want to build a great legacy and have long lasting impact, our charm will be fleeting. Our beauty is temporary. But if we build an education business, if we build an entertainment business that is meant on serving the end viewer and not on serving ourselves, if you will. And it could be a fine line. And ultimately it also just might not work for a lot. The final thing I'll say is this whole thing about image is that people also could be very toxically they get wrapped up in image. It's like we're worried more about our image. We're counting our likes, we're counting our subscribers. And psychologists are seeing this as well, like especially in young girls are posting on Instagram. And if they don't get enough likes in a certain window of time, they delete the post because they're literally attaching their worth to the affirmation they're getting through that platform in regards to image. Imagine if we flip the entire thing. It's like, again, what if it wasn't about how many likes you got, but it was how many people you helped? It was how many DMs you got for the problem you solved, or for how cool that video was that taught somebody something, or that was just had some sort of value to the end user. And as an entrepreneur and as a businessman, this is ultimately a much more business mindset, because at the end of the day, entrepreneurs solve problems for a profit. So they solve problems for somebody else. At the end of the day, successful products and services serve someone. It's never about your business. It's never, so no one's like, I just want to give your business money just because I just want to, like just celebrate your business. People are asking, what's in it for me? They're saying that's the impact, impacting the end user, as opposed to how you look, what's your, what value you get. It's what value do they get? And it's an entirely different mindset shift that I really think all of us need, but especially Gen Z, is to really think about, if you're building up your social platforms and a business around your social media platforms, that's bigger than just your, Supreme t-shirt and Yeezys, or like whatever status symbols and image symbols you have. Again, nothing but love, especially if you have a sneaker account or a hype beast account. The value of that account is the flex.
Yes.
Just know what's in it for the people you're posting for. And the reason a lot of people get stuck and fail, or just stay stuck and don't grow, is literally, it's just about them and their image. And they're like, why am I not growing? I'm so dope. I'm so cool. My ideas are so cool. And it's like, there's a lot of people that think the same thing, and that's become a commodity. If you lead with service first, your income is directly correlated to the amount of value you provide to the marketplace. What value do you provide to the marketplace? If you get really clear on that, really get about impact, you'll be unstoppable if you focus on impact first over image.
Of course. And that, to me, is what a lot of us need to understand. A lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of creatives need to understand when we're going out here on social media to promote our business, to build a following, to build that audience, and to provide impact. So going into more actionable steps on what we should be doing, YouTube is the name of the game. YouTube is is the second biggest search engine behind Google. If you understand how to, weaponize YouTube, I would say, when building your personal brand, you could build something that substantially could get you ranking on Google, get you ranking on Facebook, Instagram, on other places, if you know what you're doing. I'm not saying that you can rank on YouTube and then all of a sudden you rank on Instagram. No, I'm saying more of, if you're doing great on YouTube, going to these other platforms shouldn't be that hard for you when going there. So one of the first things that you talk about, especially with Video Ranking Academy, and guys, if you haven't gotten Video Ranking Academy 2.0, it is great. I think you guys coming out with 3.0 yet, or is
Yeah,
it?
it's out actually. It's updated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's updated. All right, so we got 3.0 now. So we got some more tools in there. It's really awesome. We got a link in the description box where you can find Video Ranking Academy 3.0 and all the other courses that Think Media has produced over the last couple of years, I guess, over the last throughout everything else. But quantify and clarify. That's two of the things that you talk about, is amplify and clarify. How can you clarify where to go with your YouTube channel? Everybody wants to know how to start. How to start. Like, that's probably the number one question that you will see on any of your videos in the comment section. How do I start this as an author? How do I start this as a coach? How do I start this as a mechanic, as an ice cream maker, as a shoemaker, whatever else we thinking about?
Yep.
Yeah. How do you start? How do you clarify what your mission is? How do you clarify that?
Yeah, there's really there's two starting points when it comes to YouTube. And the first one, I think, before clarifying is just courage, punching fear in the face, stepping out there and starting to post videos. A lot of sometimes, for some, they might say, yeah, but I want a game plan first. I want an action plan first. So I would say these are interchangeable. That's up to you. But where a lot of people get stuck is they spend all their time in planning, all their time in research, all their time in watching content constantly, all their time in watching a course, watching master classes and web classes, taking tons of notes, and they haven't posted a video yet. And I encourage people, so you should start posting videos immediately. Your first videos are going to be your worst videos. And you need to probably get 30, 50, 100 bad videos under your belt before you get to the good ones. And so this is true for anything. Like, the first time you ever cook in the kitchen, you're probably not very great. And maybe a family member or a sister or spouse or whoever was like, dude, this is burnt and this is not the best. But after you've continued to perfect your craft, 20 times in the kitchen later, 80 times in the kitchen later, now you're kind of coming out with some good dishes, and you've got the nuances and tweaks to the flavor because you've stayed in the kitchen, you kept cooking. You got to stay in the YouTube content creation mode and keep cooking up videos and keep posting it on the YouTube, even if they're burnt, even if they don't taste the best, even if sometimes you get lucky and sometimes it's like, that was kind of awkward. That wasn't the best. That was sort of weird, because your first videos are going to be your worst videos. So really, I encourage people to start messy. And as much as you want your first channel, and this might be, you might have more clarity than this, and we'll go into that in a second. But as much as you even want your first channel to like be the thing, there's something valuable about just starting a channel, start posting videos. It may turn into the thing, or it may just be part of your learning curve. Every musician has pretty much gone, every musician has gone down this path. You look at those that eventually have a best-selling album, those weren't the first 10 songs they did, or a hit single. That was not the first song they've done. They've written 38 bad songs. They've put out a couple albums that were just indie albums on SoundCloud or somewhere else that didn't do that great. They put out a lot of volume of creative content first. And so if you're going to be a part of the creator economy, you need to start creating. You need to get actual outputs under your belt. You need to actually publish some things, because that's going to be part of your learning. The second stage then would be to get clarity. And you could start with this, but we learn by doing, and it's hard to steer a parked car.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's something about having a little momentum and then layering some of these strategies on top of this. When you've posted some videos, now you're maybe understanding what you do like when it comes to creation, what you don't like, what your strengths are. Now you can kind of dial things in, and you want to basically ask two questions. Who is your target audience, and what problem do you solve for them? This is how you get clarity. And for some people, they think, well, it's not like I am teaching people who don't know English. That's my target audience. What problem do I solve? I teach them English. Like, that makes sense in education, but it's true in entertainment as well. Like, my target audience is fans of Minecraft or gaming or Fortnite or Call of Duty. People watch that like crazy. What problem do you solve? I bring unique humor to gaming. I bring unique strategies to gaming. I bring the fact that I'm in the top 25 or the top 10 players of a particular game in online gaming. I bring something to the table. I bring entertainment to the table. I give those viewers an escape. These are reasons why people watch YouTube in particular. They watch it to escape, to relax, to laugh, to cry, to be moved. They watch it to learn something. They watch it out of curiosity. They watch it to study. They watch it to be informed, to watch the news. They watch. So when you start getting clear about what your channel is about and who your channel's for, and the number one mistake that I see a lot of newer creators make is they want their channel to be for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
There's no such channel. If you try and be for everybody, you'll end up being for nobody. You niching down is understanding who are you really serving? Who is that specific group? Is it mothers? Is it helping new mothers? Is it people who want to learn guitar? Is it people who want to learn the MPC beat machine? Is it people who love a particular kind of comedy? And I think about comedians. I think about a guy named John Christ, who is a comedian, who is a Christian by faith. Not a lot of his comedy isn't necessarily Christian, but some of it is. And he does, like, for instance, reels that were like, if Bible characters were influencers. If you think about the genius of this, number one, if you don't know the Bible, you're not even going to understand the joke. So you've already narrowed your audience. So some people are going so broad, they're not tapping into maybe a particular people group, a particular tribe, a particular group of people, even as a comedian. So then it's who's your target audience? In this case, it would be people who have some level of understanding of the Bible. Otherwise, you wouldn't understand jokes that are kind of poking fun at people who grew up at church or whatever, and just that could relate to those things. And then what problem do you solve in the midst of their day-to-day life? Like in everything else, they might be watching some inspirational accounts. They might follow a couple accounts to keep them informed. They might follow politicians or presidents or causes they want to follow. And then they want some just comedic relief. You're just scrolling on your phone and like, oh, John Chris uploaded a new reel, a new Instagram. So that's what it is. So if you, to the degree that you're clear about who it is you serve and what problem you solve for them, to the degree that you also say, what is my greatest strengths and what is the greatest value I can add to the world? And when you start dialing in those details, that becomes your sweet spot of strength for really growing a successful YouTube channel. And what kills most creators before they even start, and even gets those that are experiencing some success stuck on their journey, is they stop being focused. They start trying to be for everybody. They start trying to do everything. They start going in multiple directions. There's an old proverb that says, if you try and chase two rabbits, you'll end up catching neither of them. So if you get clear on just one rabbit, chase down that rabbit. When it comes to your YouTube channel, you have the best chance of success, because otherwise your creativity can just run wild and it may never end up taking you anywhere.
Exactly. And how do you narrow that focus? Like, how do you zone in on it? Because I see a lot of creators ask, where do I find my first like 10 topics for videos, or even my first topic for videos? How do you narrow that focus and find that first topic?
That's a great question. You know, one way is to go back to what we just said and don't even try. Like, as much as I said, get clear, I still said, just be courageous and start posting first. I believe that we learn by doing. And that's not my quote. That's like Aristotle's quote, you know? And it's like, we just need to start creating, and we start learning nuances about what we're, so for example, I started a vision called Clear Vision Media in 2009. In fact, like, which was a video production business. Now, here's what's interesting. What was my journey in even finding my skill, finding a strength of mine? Well, I started the business in 2009. I started video in 2003 at my local church. And I just started making random videos on a Wednesday night. So I was doing something. I was taking action. Before that, I had been a part of other things that I didn't like. So you just got to try a lot of different things just in your journey of finding your strengths, I would say. Eventually I get into video. I say I'm kind of fond of this. I stick with it a couple years and I start getting better at it. And that by 2008, 2009, now people like want me to shoot their wedding videos or shoot their concert, their blues concert, or their rap video or something. So I started this business. But then I realized that even inside of video, there are some things I like doing more than others. I actually started learning, I don't like doing wedding videos. I don't like the pressure. What if I miss the kiss? What if the camera's out of focus? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I start realizing I don't really like doing corporate videos. That kind of is not super fun for me. I did a couple of hip hop music videos and I loved doing that. It was in Seattle. So even the niche within the niche within the niche was from doing all kinds of stuff. I went to event. Oh, I didn't like just filming seminars. Like, we need you to set up a tripod, put a camera in the back of the room, mic up the speaker, and sit there. I was like, I want to be creative. I want to make a music video. I don't want to just sit in the room. And so even within, now, when you're starting a business in this example, I did everything because I needed to pay the bills. If I had an opportunity, I made a video for a Mexican restaurant in Marysville, Washington. I was working with this woman named Deborah who wanted me to make all these promo videos for businesses for a local baseball team that would like play on their thing. So I was doing all kinds of stuff. I wasn't necessarily pumped about it, but I was sharpening my skills and finding my thing in terms of, okay, I do like being more creative, less just practical. So the punchline is how do you start to narrow in your niche, if you will? You got to just create, like creators create. Notice where your strengths are and start to narrow things down. One thing that a framework we teach is we say that your sweet spot on YouTube is at the center of your passion, proficiency, and your profit. So the one way to do this, if you need some more clarity, is maybe, though, you eventually get to a place to say, well, Sean, I'm torn though, because I like memes. So I kind of want to start like a meme channel or like a reaction channel. I also am a singer, guitar player, so I kind of want to do that. I also am really into cryptocurrencies, so I was thinking about starting a channel around that. Well, so you take passion, write down 5 to 10 passions, And then you ask, though, passion is not enough. Then you ask, okay, out of those, what am I the best at? In crypto, man, I've had some gains. In crypto, I really can explain things. In crypto, I've read 5-10 books on cryptocurrency. I understand how the blockchain works. When it comes to like meme culture and whatnot, I'm kind of more of an introvert. And so reacting to videos, like it's just not my greatest strength. So maybe you cross that one out. And in guitar, it's more of a hobby, but like I don't have the greatest skill there. So maybe your passion is a lot of things, but then what are you also proficient at? What are you good at? And then also what can you profit from? So maybe you got 10 things in passion, then you see if you're also proficient, you cross out like 8 of them, and then you go to profit and you see which one potentially, you've narrowed it down to 2, then you pick one. And if you were to say, man, cryptocurrency is the thing, now like Graham Stephan or Andre Jink, you got, if people are signing up for these crypto exchanges, they get like affiliate link stuff for them. They're making, I mean, obviously these guys have a lot of views, but they're making freaking money. Like you're making money in crypto, people are signing up for crypto exchanges and you're getting the referral fee. You're I don't believe in this, but a lot of influencers are scamming their communities because they'll be like, hey, this is the hot coin, and they'll like pump and dump it, which is I don't even mean to say that as like a strategy. I'm just saying it's a very lucrative space. And so you might say, I'm passionate about it, I'm good at it, I'm studied at it, I got my Ethereum wallet set up, and I'm already doing NFTs, and I got my Coinbase thing. I'm like really able to like, I'm into this. I could stick with this for multiple years, and there's ways I could profit from it. Boom. Now your clarity is at the center of that. And that just hopefully answered your question. If that's the case, what are your first 5 to 10 topics? Well, it's unending. Talk about the recent crypto crash, talk about how to get started in crypto, talk about whatever it is. And one of our favorite websites is called answerthepublic.com. And you could do like 2 searches on it. You could pay for it monthly, but it's free, 2 searches a day. And if you type in cryptocurrency there, it'll actually give you about 55 to 100 video ideas. What is cryptocurrency? Is cryptocurrency a scam? Those are all titles of potential videos. So that's a super good way to get started. But and you can start with either side. What I mean is like, if you got that much clarity, then you're off to the races. You're like, crypto's the channel. That's my strength. I'm going to stick with this. Answerthepublic.com. You start running. If still you're like, but dude, I got like 10 passions, then just start a channel and start posting them. And you also could post a crypto video, post a cover song of you playing guitar, do a reaction video, experiment. And maybe one of those videos breaks out, and then you pivot your channel down around, you test 10 different things on your channel. You made 5 videos about crypto, and then you were like, that's the thing. So then everything in the future narrows down as you go. It's 2 different approaches. Either start posting, or if you got as much clarity from going through the passion, proficiency, profit framework, then pick the thing and start posting. Either way, get started and then start tweaking and leveling up as you go with better video ideas and all of the best practices on YouTube.
Now, talking about that, whenever you're getting these questions, I think to me, one of the best ways to find those topics is doing FAQs, those frequently asked questions that you see. Like, for instance, big influencers like yourself and others, yes, you try to get into the comment section and you try to communicate with these people. But you can't really do that all the time because you have other things that you have to do, other things that you have to get going. One of the biggest ways to come up with topics is look at an influencer, look at someone who has a big following that's doing the similar thing that you're doing. Go in their comment section. Look at the questions that these people are asking. Make videos on those. Make videos on those, answering those questions. You can even tag the people, everything like that. I'm giving you guys like some sauce real quick on what you would do if you want to build your Instagram following, because this will work really well on Instagram. Tag the people, make a little video about it, call it FAQs. Like, it's just something simple like that. And I know for some reason with us as people, the simplest things seem like the things that is not going to work. The things that there has to be more to it. There has to be more of a process to what it's doing, but it's really simple. Like you're saying, just look for the things that you do well on. Like, I've had multiple different YouTube channels. And you notice from conversations we have had in the past with my production company. And what I resonated with, what I was good at, my personal strength, was having these type of conversations, talking to people, where I've had people saying, how long have you been doing interviews? And it was like my first interview. How long have you been doing interviews? I was, nah, this is my first time doing it. You are really good at that. Like, you can continue going. The problem was, like you said, I wanted to be for everyone when I shouldn't have just tripled down on my mindset. I'm good at interviews. Let me triple down on that and just keep on making content about that stuff. And then I got stuck too much on the how instead of remembering the why I was doing this, why everything else was going, because that is going to help you throughout this process. Because I got to tell you, I've been doing this since 2015. It's 2021. I don't know why I blinked on that, but it's 2021. It's been 6 years. In the past 6 years, if you do not have a passion for what you're doing, you wouldn't have stuck around this long. You wouldn't have stuck around doing it this long. And yes, I've hit dead ends. I've hit minefields. I blew up and then I like crashed. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's just, I know that I want to continue on because I have a message that I want to put out, and I have a message that I want to help others and provide that value. So, Sean, one more question that I want to ask before we get into our 2-minute question blitz for you is, what would you say, like starting off, we talked about a lot of topics, talked about like building a YouTube channel, everything like that. What do you think is the thing that is stopping a lot of creators, and how to push past that? Because that's like the biggest actionable step ever, is learning how to push past that fear. Would you say just post as much as possible and just get used to it? Or would you say, hey, like maybe keep your mind clear. Stop listening to like what other people are saying, because a lot of us are scared about what our family is going to say, what our friends are going to say. What would you say there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that fear is going to rear its ugly face whenever we try to step outside of the norm. And it's pretty crazy to put yourself out there on the internet, you know, to what if somebody says something negative? That'll eventually happen, especially once you start getting any kind of viewership at all. You know, what if I look dumb on camera? Well, that's just a perception. Like you might. It's also, that's just a subjective opinion. Some people might think you look awesome. What if I stumble over my words? You will. So I think when it comes to fear, one is just the definition. I've heard fear defined as two different things. One is false evidence appearing real, or it's face everything and rise. So the first one, like false evidence appearing real, is like, if I put myself out there and the video sucks, my life is over. Well, that's not true. If I start a YouTube channel and I start posting, but I stop after 3 months, I'll be a failure. That's not true. It just means you stop posting. You could start again. You could start another one. So you just have to question and play out like what really is the worst that could happen. What really are you really thinking clearly, or is it false evidence appearing real? What if, you know, your aunt or a friend of yours mocks you or something? Well, who cares? And sometimes, you know, your friend group and your peer group can be a big thing that keeps you in fear, because if they're not supportive and they actually speak death to your dreams, I would say never listen to somebody that's given up on their dreams and let them try and talk you out of yours. That's not the right evidence. It's not the right information you want. It's not the right, group you want around you, or the thoughts and ideas you want around you. Alternatively, face everything and rise. Face everything. Face the fear. Face the hesitation. You're not alone. All of us have felt that. What if people, I don't like the way I look on camera. I don't like the way my nose looks, my teeth look. I don't like the way my hair looks. I don't like the gray in my beard. I don't like that my hair is thinning. I don't like the way that shirt makes me look. I look too big on camera. I look too small on camera. We all think this stuff. Like, and you just got to face everything and rise. That's why we say punch fear in the face, punch perfectionism in the face, and press record. What if I'm not perfect at the first time in the video? First of all, perfect subjective. And second of all, You won't be. Like, it's just, you got to start messy. You got to actually start poop your pants scared. Like, you got to just put yourself out there. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the acknowledgement of fear, and it's doing whatever it is you have set out to do with the fear that you feel. I think people assume that those that start YouTube channels, oh, they don't feel fear like me. No, they do feel the fear. You just let it stop you. They pressed through it. Sweaty palms, nervous, teeth chattering, didn't even want to release the video after, cut like 4 videos shot in your YouTube channel, and they're still private because you're just afraid of releasing them. Face everything and rise. I've heard it said, man, that, you know, all of the best things in life are actually waiting for you on the other side of fear. Sure, you can live an all right life if you give in to fear. But if you really want to step into extraordinary and achieve uncommon results, the greatest things in life are uphill. The greatest things in life are on the other side of fear. So face everything and rise. And don't think that the person you follow and the person you compare yourself to, or you think they're so, don't put people on pedestals. Courage is like a muscle. It grows video after video. It grows failure after failure. When you realize failures didn't kill you. The people that have succeeded the most have failed the most. They've had the most bad videos, and you're just seeing the good videos because that's the ones the algorithm actually surfaced. The algorithm didn't even show you all the bad videos because no one liked them. And so when you compare yourself to that person, they've just built up their courage muscle. But I would say this, the fear doesn't really go away because the giants just get bigger. You know, I've got 20 people on my team now, and I've got a multi-million-dollar business. And like Mason Biggie said, man, mo money, mo problems. Like, I just got bigger giants now, man. There's still like 7-figure tax bills and stuff. Like, so like you're like, oh crap, you know, or thousands of dollar mistakes, tens of thousands of dollars mistakes that's happening. That's the kind of stuff 10 years ago, if you would have told me that I would try and experiment and lose 20 grand just like that, I would have been like, dude, I would have just given up, hopped in my car and ran for the border just because 20 G's would have set me. Now that's like cost of doing business. I just say that because you have to just make it a lifestyle of punching fear in the face every step of the road. And there's going to always be new giants to face and new challenges ahead of you. So start small, and start posting, and then post again, and then post again. And you might get into a season where all of a sudden there's a whole this happens. Sometimes there's just like a group of toxic trolls discover your channel, and for 3 months, you kind of are in this flow of like a lot of weird and negative comments. But guess what? If you don't feed the trolls, they eventually die or get hungry and go somewhere else for food. So you just write it out. And those who give into the false evidence appearing real stop when they face that next dimension of challenge or haters or introspection or defeat or whatever. But those that really last and build a legacy just keep on making the courageous decision to stay focused and face everything and rise.
Exactly. And it's just stay focused, guys. Get your mind right and just continue to post. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to pop off. Hey, you could have put all this effort into this one video, editing wise, did all this stuff, and that doesn't do well. And then you shot something on your phone, simple, and that gets all the views that you need. That's just how the world works. That's just how, serendipity, you can't really track it. You just got to keep doing it. So guys, what we're going to do now is our 2-minute question blitz. In these 2 minutes, I am going to ask Sean a certain amount of questions, and let's see if he can answer each of them in a timeful manner with complete answers. Not just little things, but complete answers. So this is how real this is getting. I have my timer here. We got 2 minutes on the clock.
Dang, here we go.
Yeah. And in this 2 minutes, we're going to get this started. So 5, 4, 3, 2. There we go. Word association, SEO.
Smart.
Smart. Okay. All right. Proudest achievement so far?
Fatherhood.
Yes. Cake or pie?
Pie.
Great man. All right. Vanilla or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Hey, I like your answers now. All right. Who's your biggest hero? Come on, man.
That's a good question. My wife.
Your wife. Okay. All right. Cryptocurrency. Has it died?
No.
No. Okay. All right. YouTube secrets versus video ranking Academy 3.0.
Two different things.
Two different things. Two different things. Okay. All right. So, my next question: what would you say is the importance of understanding the mechanics of YouTube?
Everything.
Everything. All right. And 3 steps to build your personal brand.
Number 1, know who you serve.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, know specifically how you serve them. What problems do you solve and what ambitions are you trying to help them reach? Number 3, commit to being in the top 10% of your industry. Commit to excellence, commit to mastery, commit to doing the work, and to commit to learning more than your competition.
All right.
Boom. 2 minutes.
2 minutes. You did it. All right. Actually, and there was one more question that I wanted to ask you because I feel like this could help a lot of people. Who would you say, other than yourself, are the top 3 people if you're trying to build your influence online and you're trying to build an actual business out of YouTube, social media? Who would you recommend is your top 3 people that you would say, hey, they have great content and it would help provide you as much value?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you really want to build an online business, especially in kind of the expert influencer coach, social media, YouTube space, I think one would definitely be Russell Brunson. And I would read the books, Expert Secrets, .com Secrets, and Traffic Secrets. It's a trilogy. Readers are leaders. And so if that's like, what? I want to watch videos, read the books or get the audiobooks. I think a second has been a huge mentor in my life. That's Chalene Johnson. She holds the world record for the most fitness DVDs ever sold. She's not a YouTuber, but she is big on Instagram and co-runs with her son now an Instagram Academy, and they Chalene Johnson and Brock Johnson. I think that they are super into, they've built multiple 7 and 8 figure businesses, sold multiple businesses. And what they have helped me understand is that social media is not the point. Social media is a vehicle to the bigger thing you're building, to actually having, what's your bigger business? What is the business model? Social media is a means of traffic and connecting with people. It's not kind of a means into its end, its ends. And I'll tell you this, you can't go to the bank and show them your followers and say, I want to make a withdrawal. Just because you have a lot of social media followers doesn't mean you have any money in your bank account. So what business are you building? And the last thing I'll say about them is that when it comes to building a business, to me, true success is not just material success or dollar success. It's when you're world-class in a lot of different areas of life. So there's plenty of people you can follow that will give you good tips and are numerically successful or financially successful. But that's not how I measure success solely. If you're not prioritizing your family, if you're sacrificing your family for success, if you're not, for me, world-class in health and the money side, and you treat people good and the team side and family, and you're building a legacy and you're committed to a bigger impact, and you're living real ethics and values. And that whole list I just put out there is pretty rare. So some can flex the Ferrari and flex the watch, but I don't necessarily, I respect maybe some of the principles, but if you're not world-class in all that, in every area, I question whether or not I want to follow you. And that's one thing I love about the Johnsons, Chalene Johnson, Brett Johnson, her husband, and Brock Johnson. And then finally, another big one for me has been a guy named Brennan Burchard. He wrote a book called Millionaire Messenger. And has been over the years a big influence in terms of being a writer, a speaker, an author, and building up not just social media platforms, but kind of like Shalene and like Russell. All three of them are talking about building up an email list, building up funnels, building up a web page, building off of YouTube itself. If you want to build a real business, those are definitely some characters that will help you and accomplish that goal.
Great, excellent. And I've heard a lot about all of them. I've actually ordered Russell Brunson's books this week, so this is going to be really cool.
Smart move.
Thank you, thank you. So guys, I would like to thank you all for watching, and we're going to do a little question of the day, but I'm going to leave that to Sean. Sean, what would you say for this interview? What is your question of the day? What do you want the audience to answer in the comment section?
I mean, it's kind of deep, but at the end of your life, what do you want said about you? Like, super deep. I mean, now you're dying. But what do you want said about you at your funeral? How do you want to be remembered? I think that's a really good way to, that's hopefully years away, decades away. It's a really good way to anchor you back in impact, because they probably won't say, wow, they had a really well curated Instagram feed. And maybe you want that said about you, but it might reframe our thinking for the impact that we want to make. What do we want to be known for and remembered for? And then we can do our best to build that legacy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So guys, I would like to thank you all for watching. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share on all your social medias. And especially if you found value in this interview, leave some questions down below. I can always contact Sean and see what he thought about some of the questions. Let's get a conversation started. Other than that, I'm Antoine. I would like to thank you for watching. It was so great having you, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Have a great day.